Fallout 3 and Fallout New Vegas continually duke it out to see who is my favourite of the two. They're so damn similar, see Between Two Wastelands. It can be hard to choose. Ultimately, I tend to plumb for Fallout 3 because it seems like a bigger and overall better game, with more locations, characters, better music and better quests. But Fallout New Vegas has many features I love too, like hardcore mode and the faction rankings. Anyway, because these games are so similar, I decided that I could compare their DLCs easily and compile this list, my favourite and least favourite of the Fallout 3 and Fallout New Vegas DLCs. Also, bear in mind, I enjoyed all of these DLCs in their own way. Just some I enjoyed way more than others. I recommend you buy them all because they're all worth buying. None of them should be totally avoided. Obviously, this countdown contains spoilers. Number 9. Operation Anchorage. My least favourite DLC is Fallout 3's Operation Anchorage. If this DLC was related to any game other than Fallout, I probably would have been kinder to it. To me, this just isn't Fallout. I like the concept behind it, showing you the events surrounding the liberation of Anchorage and how it led to the current Fallout setting. But was virtual reality really the best way to do it? To me, this just doesn't seem like the same game. It feels like one of those less than wonderful first-person shooter titles. It's also far too linear, allowing for very little exploration. Also, is it me, or do you think the person you play as in the virtual reality shouldn't be your own character? To me, it seemed odd that all of your own stats and stuff carried over. I think it would have been cooler if you got to play as a different person with a completely different skill set. Also, because it's virtual reality, you don't get to keep any of your lovely spoils. In fact, you can't even loot corpses or pick up the random clutter. You're only allowed to interact with specific objects. It's far too restrictive and it's far too linear. This is not Fallout. Number 8. Honest Hearts. My second least favourite DLC out of all the DLCs in Fallout 3 and New Vegas is the second one from New Vegas, Honest Hearts. This is another DLC which to me doesn't feel like a Fallout game. The whole area isn't too different from the Mojave Desert. Perhaps this would have been a better DLC for Fallout 3? The contrast between the urban capital wasteland and the Zion Canyon would have been so cool, but to me there isn't much of a difference between the Mojave and Zion.
Wow.
The new tribal-style weapons and crafting recipes were pretty cool, but to me the choice system didn't feel too different, which was evident by the fact you received the same XP and prizes no matter what path you chose. The followers were quite meh, and the whole area was rather small and sparse with hardly anywhere to explore. It's also the DLC that feels the shortest overall to me, and left the smallest impression. In fact, I had to replay the bloody thing to remind myself of what happens in order to write this countdown. Number 7. Dead Money. Next is the first DLC released for Fallout New Vegas, Dead Money. Now, on paper, the whole poisonous cloud idea sounded pretty good. It seemed like something that would really fit in with the whole hardcore mode survival aspect. Adding to that is the fact that when you first arrive, you were stripped of all your items, making so you had to cope with what you could find, also very cool. However, the poisonous cloud, it's a massive pain in the fucking ass. It's fucking everywhere, and there's no way to bloody get rid of it. Adding to this, the questline is a bit meh. The characters are a bit meh. I'm a pacifist. I tried to keep everyone happy so I didn't have to kill anyone. If you screw up one dialogue check, that plan goes out the window. And it's damn near impossible to get all the gold bars without cheating or following a painstaking route. The Sierra Madre itself seems a bit barren. There's not really that much to do. You can't return to it once you've completed it. Number 6. Broken Steel. Next on the list is the Broken Steel DLC from Fallout 3. While I appreciate what this DLC set out to do, for first-time players it can prove to be a massive pain in the arse. Case in point, the fucking super mutant overlords. These twats are designed to be fought at higher levels, like what you would be when you attempt this post-game DLC quest. But no, they get through into the early areas of the game too and can very easily overpower you unless you use grenades or set your difficulty to very easy. I liked the quest that revolved around the Aquapura or Aquacura, but I didn't like the final quest with Liberty Prime and all the other Brotherhood of Steel bullshit, so I didn't really enjoy the continuation. Unlike in Fallout New Vegas, you couldn't choose who to side with, it was thrust upon you. Also, as most of the quests took place in existing areas, there weren't many new lands or areas to explore, just new capital wasteland ones crowbarred into existing areas. Meh. Number 5. The Pit. Next is the second DLC from Fallout 3, The Pit. This DLC really gives you a chance to be totally on whatever moral side you want to be, a virtuous paragon or a cold-blooded devil. You start out as a slave and are forced to compete in an arena fighting other slaves as well as going on scavenger hunts around a dangerous factory infested with mutants to find steel ingots, eventually allowing you to climb the ranks of slaves until you can be accepted as a slaver rather than a slave. The final quest then makes you choose which group to side with, perfect for those who prefer a completely good or completely evil character, but not so good for those who like to remain neutral. I would also say that the scavenger hunt quest is a perfect opportunity to explore, but the DLC lacks a player home, massive open areas to explore, and it doesn't have any followers, the standard goodies that most of these DLCs do come with. Number 4. Point Lookout. Next is the Point Lookout DLC from Fallout 3. As you've probably gathered, I like to explore. Any huge open area with lots of locations to discover is bound to be a hit with me, hence Point Lookout, which has what I believe to be the biggest new map added by a DLC. I spent a long time mooching around this great place, picking the wild punga fruit and fighting off the psycho hillbilly locals. Not only is it great for explorers, the quests aren't half bad either. Especially the quest that involves ingesting the hallucinogenic seeds of the Mother Punga, leading to a trippy sequence of smashing Nuka-Cola Quantums, giant bobbleheads, and coming face to face with the corpse of your dead mother. Number 3. Lonesome Road. Next is the final DLC released for Fallout New Vegas, Lonesome Road. Is Fallout too easy for you? Do you need a challenge in your life? Then look no further. Lonesome Road is the most challenging DLC of the Fallout games I've played, namely due to some of the most highly irradiated areas in the game, bosses and enemies with ridiculously overpowered weapons and armour, a general lack of supplies lying around, and vending machines that sell overpriced merchandise. The title, Lonesome Road, is a little misleading however, as you do get a new companion in the form of a prototype EDE robot, which has the added bonus of the EDE companion in the Mojave Wasteland receiving the same upgrades, allowing him to craft weapons, ammunition and the like. The quests are relatively simple, all really given the target of actually getting through each area, which allows you to explore the areas to your heart's content. The side mission of detonating all the discarded nuclear warheads is also a great scavenger hunt quest, and the ridiculously overpowered secret Deathclaw boss is fucking insane. Also, the main antagonist of the DLC, Ulysses, is also one of the biggest knobs in gaming, who constantly talks to you, but his dialogue choices will change depending on choices you previously made in the main game, such as who you sided with. Number 2. Mothership Zeta. My second favourite DLC is the Mothership Zeta DLC from Fallout 3. This DLC is great, based purely on how different it is. You're not exploring forgotten reaches of a nuclear-blasted wasteland like every other DLC, you're on an alien spaceship. The DLC even opens with a nice first-person shot of your character being violently anal probed, complete with screen blood. Anal probes are funny. Also, unlike some other DLCs, the Mothership remains accessible, some of it anyway, after completing the DLC. It comes with some great characters, most of which can be followers, and it can double as a player home. To go along with the alien theme, there's a shitload of new weapons and items, complete with the standard fare, under the guise that the aliens are studying Earth's technology and culture, which is awesome. While some of the quests can be a little bit linear, and as mentioned earlier, some of the areas become blocked off after they're completed, the fun characters, interesting quests, and overall different feel, Mothership Zeta is out of this world. Sorry, I couldn't resist. Number 1, Old World Blues. My personal favourite DLC is Old World Blues from Fallout New Vegas. This DLC is amazing. It embodies both the classic Fallout Wasteland feel as well as embracing the more advanced technology with robots, laser weaponry, cyborg dogs, and it also includes the utterly bizarre. The characters are all great, some of them are genuinely hilarious, especially your disembodied brain. Speaking of which, at the start of this DLC, you're stripped of not only your equipment, but your major organs, your heart, your brain, and your spine, which can really mess with your current special points and character skill set. The new items and weapons are a lot of fun, the enemies are a tough challenge, the quests are all very different, and some even provide a unique challenge, such as the stealth maze. Probably the best part of the DLC, though, is the amazing player home known as the Sink, in which all of your household objects talk, including slutty light switches, a germophobic basin, a psychotic toaster hell-bent on world domination, a suave fertilizer station, and Muggy, your own personal mini-Securitron who is obsessed with coffee mugs. This DLC allows for maximum exploration as well as quests, side quests and secrets, and never once feels restrictive or linear. Amazing from start to finish. You must play it.
Research this.